Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Lagging Behind. Today we are going to discuss about Unit 4 from the Diary of Anne Frank. This is a very important lesson from your grade 10 English syllabus. This not only encompasses the struggle of Anne Frank, who was a victim of Nazi's concentration camp, but also shows how the situation when there are dire situation you can make it light. When there are very frightening situation, you can have a grace of your own. Over to you, Anne.
Hey, I am Anne Frank, and today Sumit sir will tell about my story.
Thank you, Anne, for your kind and generous introduction and letting me have this opportunity to speak about you. So, analyst Mary Frank was this Jewish girl. She dies at the age of 16. Her father was Otto Frank, mother Edith Hollander Frank, and she has a sister, Margaret Frank. She was born on 12th June 1929, Frankfurt, Germany. So basically, Germany was the country which was under Nazis' occupation. Germany was under the rule of this man Adolf Hitler. So he was an anti-Jewish. तो उन्होंने क्या किया था, सब Jewish population को मार दो, खत्म कर दो. He has a really Semitic hatred toward the Jewish people. And the World War, that started from around 1939 and existed till 1945, it was a torturous situation for Jew people. And then they took this healthy person from the concentration camp and make them work without any pay, without giving them any salary, and tortured them very much. So Anne Frank was also one of the victims. In this chapter, we are going to learn not about the history of the Nazis or anything like that, but we will be reading a small excerpt, means small part from where? From her classroom experience. So she was a very intelligent girl, and how she handled difficult situation, from this story we will get to know. She started writing a diary, and she writes that writing in a diary is a very, very strange experience. She talks about writing in the diary. So writing in the diary for her is a strange experience. So this is very important. This is very important. Why is it a strange experience for her? Writing in the diary is a strange experience because she is an introvert. Later on, when we will read more, we will see that how she is an introvert kind of a child. Okay, so she is telling paper has more patience than people. So here what we can see, this is a metaphor. Okay, metaphor is a literary device, and CBSE loves these types of question. And they will just pick up a line from here and ask you explain why it is told that paper has more patience than people. Right, that's because people do not listen to her attentively. And paper, she can write anything, and it will keep on listening to her, all the complaint or all the naggings or everything. Whatever she wants to write, she can write down in the paper without telling or explaining or complaining. Okay, now she is again justifying, yes, paper does have more patience, and since that I am not planning to let anyone else read this stuff, back notebook grandly referred to as a diary, unless I would ever find a real friend. So she is concerned, like all you teenagers are concerned to find a real friend. So you can say that real friend is hard to find. And the person who is just sitting next to you might not be the real friend you are looking for, or might be the real friend you are looking for, and that person can listen to all your secrets, and she does not have someone like that. That is why she is trying to find a real friend. Let me put it more clearly, since no one will believe that 13-year-old girl is completely alone in the world, and I am not. But she is telling that although I don't have a real friend, but I am not alone in this world. I have a 16-year-old sister, okay, Margot, and then there are about 30 people I can call friend. There are her classmates also whom she can call friend, but except one true friend. But she does not have one true friend. Maybe it's my fault that we don't confide in each other in any class. That's just confide means to tell about something. So this is to tell personal thing privately to a person that one trust. To enhance the image of this long waited friend in my imagination, I don't want to jot down the facts in this diary the way most people would do, but I want the diary to be my friend. So, this diary she wants to write down, and this diary will be Anne's friend. So, she can call this diary Kitty. So, the name of the diary is Kitty, and this is Anne Frank's friend. So they both are friend with each other. So next we go to her family description that we have already seen. Okay, my father, most adorable person that I have ever seen, didn't marry my mother until he was 36-year old, and she was 25, mother was 25. My sister Margot was born in Frankfurt in Germany in 1926, and she gives her own birth date, and they emigrated to Holland. My mother, Edith Hollander Frank, went with him to Holland, while I and Margot sent to Aachen to stay with the grandmother. I started right away in the Montessori nursery school. I stayed there until I was 6, at which time I started the first form. First form means first class, class 1. There was teacher Mrs. Cupris. So she was born in 1929, and she stayed with her grandmother and went to school, Montessori school. In summer 1941, grandma fell ill, and she is writing about grandma. She is writing about 1942, when her birthday celebration was not done because grandma was not well. So all these things she is writing in the diary. The next important part is this diary entry we read from June 20, 1942. So she's telling our entire class was quacking. Quacking means shaking with fear and nervousness in its boot. The reason, of course, is the forthcoming meeting in which teacher decide who will move up to next form and who will be kept back. So what is the reason? Reason is that result declaration will be there, and in this result declaration the teacher will decide who will move from class 5th to 6th, or so on and so forth. And she is writing about this, that everyone was afraid, everyone was scared, and she was not very worried about anything else but about the subject maths. She was scared of maths. We all are scared of maths, right? Yes, because the teacher was also pretty foggy matlab kharus, old fashioned person, traditional person, huh? And not talking too much, only giving homework after homework. And so the maths teacher was not a very good person, and especially when she is a chatterbox. What is the meaning of chatterbox? Who talks too much and who loved talking too much. She was also a naughty kind of girl, used to talk too much in the class, and the teacher did not like it. And that evening, after I have finished the rest of my homework, and she has to write an essay. So she was just chewing the fountain pen and write an essay. Essay on what? A chatterbox. Why? Because she was punished. Punished by whom? Punished by maths teacher. What was the name of maths teacher? Mr. Kessing. Mr. Kessing gave Anne the punishment to write essay. And finally, Mr. Kessing uh, took the essay in a sporting way, where Anne is telling that since my mother was a chatterbox and I also cannot stop talking because I have inherited the traits of her mother, characteristics of her mother, and I cannot stop talking. And this is the picture of Mr. Kissing scolding Anne. The class roared and I had to laugh too. Though I had nearly exhausted my ingenuity on the topic of chatterboxes, it was time to come up with something else. So the teacher gave Anne homework after homework. You write an essay, you present it to me, you stop talking, and Anne started giving the essays back in a very funny way. And finally, what happened? Finally, one day, Mr. Casings was convinced that Mr. Casing took the joke right way. This is very important. Mr. Casing was very funny, and